coming around to the end of August now, and for many people that means starting school or starting university. However, in the UK this year it's going to be very difficult for a lot of students because there are no places at university. So for this week's podcast on English.com, we're going to suggest a possible solution to the problem.
Richard slightly exaggerated when he said that there are no places at university. But this year, the number of courses available is dramatically lower than it has been. 2010, there are only 18,500 courses available.
At UK universities?
At UK universities, yeah, that's true. Compared to 32,000 courses that were vacant last year.
And 180,000 students have applied, apparently.
Yeah. And one of the reasons why there is this big problem is that in general, there are more people applying to go to university. It's much more of the norm for a 17 or an 18-year-old to think that they'll carry on their education and go to university, which they didn't do in the past.
And they all get A grades now at school, it seems. So everybody wants to go to university.
That's the other part of the problem, is that students are getting better marks. So it's been suggested that for students who fail to get on a degree course, they should take up volunteering, partly to improve their CV and also because it's an interesting life experience.
A lot of people take a year off between school and university, travel the world, have a good time, but it's suggested now people making more use of that time by volunteering for charities.
Yes, working for a charity basically without receiving a salary. And a very popular organisation that young people turn to is one called Rally.
Right.
And they have a number of courses around the world. Not everywhere around the world, though, is it?
So where do they operate?
Malaysia,
right.
Costa Rica, and Nicaragua, and they have a lot of projects in India as well.
Okay, so you have to apply for a place, I take it. Mm-hmm. And how long?
Well, they're not long. The courses. If you only want to go for a short time, you can go for about 3.5 weeks. Most of them are about 5 or 10 week projects.
Right, and you help the local people building schools or...
There's lots of clearing paths and forests or installing water tanks and pumps and things like that.
And is it right they actually have to pay for the pleasure of doing the work?
Yeah, they actually have to fundraise before they go. A 3.5 week course actually costs £1,500, and if you want to go for 10 weeks, you have to pay £3,000 to do this, plus your flight. So if the students haven't got a place at university, having done their exams, then maybe next year they're going to be maybe able to get into university a second time, but also be able to go straight into employment because they've done this kind of thing.
Good for the CV.
Good for the CV.